Well, one of the things you say or write rather in Shine Bright is that your book is a mission statement. If
Mhm.
that's the case, what's the statement?
Oh, I have to shine bright. I'm tired of it. Like, and on behalf of myself, like I've been shining bright on behalf of other things and people forever. I was shining bright on behalf of the John Burroughs Junior High School Far and Near, where I was features editor, um, photo editor at my high school yearbook, um, intern at San Francisco Bay Guardian, music editor at Vibe, R&B editor at Billboard, editor-in-chief of Vibe twice. Oh, it's not hard for me to shine bright. Culture editor at ESPN's The Undefeated. It's not hard for me to shine bright in those situations because, I got ESPN to lean on. I got Billboard to lean on. I have Vibe to lean on. To just shine bright on behalf of myself is new.
And to give people an idea is that, you select specific women and you go through their personal histories and you sort of
Mm.
weave in yours where you're telling people what their work, what their song meant to them. And it's amazing the amount of tentacles you're able to bring back to not just you, but other bits and pieces in music history. Now,
Mm.
did you choose to feature the women in Shine Bright based off your personal connection to their music, or did you already have the women in mind and then you attached your personal history to it?
No, I definitely chose the women, and not all of them, but the women that are chosen for Shine Bright um, were chosen because of my relationship to them, whether it was via career or whether it's because they saved my life, via the radio or vinyl or seeing a live performance. Or honestly, it's not just me, it's my life. So it's like it reflects the relationships also that my mother has to music. Like my mother loves that song, Going to the Chapel, and we're going to get married from the Dixie Cups. And I write about the Dixie Cups. My mother is the person that introduced me to Natalie Cole, who's one of my favorite artists of all time. And actually a show of Natalie Cole kind of walked me into this business, reviewing a show of Natalie Cole's. And then I think about, I write about Nancy Wilson in Shine Bright. And that's because it's one of my grandmother's favorite artists. So I lived with my grandmother for a while when I was, in my teenage years. And my grandmother is sitting up there listening to Nancy Wilson's Guess Who I Saw Today over and over again. And I'm just like, so this is my song now. I remember when I went to see the Nancy Wilson decades later at Lincoln Center. And all I could really think about, of course, was I wish my grandmother was alive to see this. I wish my grandmother was here to see this with me. She reminded me of my grandmother, the way she had to sit down in the middle of her performance, and she was unbothered. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
somebody needs to bring me out my chair. She's like, if you all want me to continue with this show, and we do, somebody needs to bring me my chair. Bless her soul. God bless the dead, Nancy Wilson. So it really is about people that affected me. And then when I start talking about Whitney, Mariah, and Janet, then those women are important in my life career-wise. I interviewed all three of them, some of them more than once, have traveled with some of them, things like that. So, and those stories, they grew me up in this business. And so they're in there as well.
So I also didn't realize reading this, like how much we had in common. My first concert, also the Jackson Five. I think that was your first, right? But
Yes.
you saw Triumph. Was that it?
Girl, you really think I'm young, and I appreciate that. I
Hey,
do.
listen, thank God it's top of mind. I think that's what you said in there
Oh,
because I saw
girl,
I saw the Victory Tour. That was the first one I saw.
so I saw
Hmm.
that one, but I also
Yep.
saw like the Jackson 5 on tour in like 1973 because I was 8. And so my mother took, that's my first show. This is my first
Hmm.
show. I got the tickets for the concert. You know how that's what I'm saying. My mother is a special person, and we have some. Obviously, our relationship is tumultuous, but she tried. She did, and so she. I mean, I would not be here if my mother had not taken me for my 8th birthday to see the Jackson 5 at the Circle Star Theater in San Carlos, California. And I remember getting the dress, and I was so disappointed because it wasn't an album. It was a dress. It was a pink and white, like check dress. And it had the nerve to have like an apron in the front that you tied in the back. Even at 8, I was like, why, Janelle? But why were there tickets to the show in the pocket of the apron? So, yeah, so we went, me, my mother, and my sister. And I can't believe we both went to the same shows. I mean, the Jacksons are such a family. I mean, they defined pop for the last 50 years of the last century. So, I mean, we were where we were supposed to be, Jemele.
We were, and you had, I think, maybe the second tour, the one that I went to, because I think I was maybe 6 or 7 when I also went. So we're talking early '80s. So it was the same tour. Yes, stood in
Yes.
line. My stepfather won the tickets off the radio. How impossible is that?
Ooh,
And I
got a
too.
plug.
he
Yeah, a
won him.
plug.
He was like the 99th caller or something, and he actually won
Love
it.
it.
I too was in the nosebleeds and understand.
Right? Man, the nosebleeds are a place, man.
You have a soulful connection to live music. What does it make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel high. And I don't smoke. I don't smoke weed. And I don't really do drugs. So to me, it's the high. It's just high. Like I just feel high. I feel like, is this what y'all are feeling when y'all are hitting the blunt? Because if it is, I understand. Because I just feel high. To be around people that, like, just to go around a bunch of strangers, it's a little bit like sports, I guess. It's like to be around a bunch of strangers that just really believe in the situation that's on the stage, just believe in it. If it's a vocalist, know the words to the song, like the drummer or not, because he or she is cute or not, or really knows how to have an amazing solo. People sometimes, are dressed up or dressed in whatever is the cool outfits of the time, like drinking, having a good time. Like all of this is, the scene of music matters to me. Like the idea of just being at a show. I've been to 1,000. I think it's like probably 3,000
That was gonna be my
shows.
next question: is if you could ballpark how many you've been to.
Man, I say 1,000, but I think I'm underplaying myself. I've been to I used to review shows for a living for New York Times. I used to go to 3 shows a week. Right there for a year, we already in what, 3 times 50? That's already 150 over the course of like a year. And I've been doing this for a long time. So there's not that many people I haven't seen live. Like, who haven't I seen live? It's a game that I'm good for a bar bet. I played this at the bar. I played this at home with my husband. It's like, who haven't I seen? Like, I haven't seen the Rolling Stones, and I don't care.
Wait a minute. I've seen a group you haven't seen. I've seen the
You've
Rolling
seen the
Stones.
Rolling Stones. I have not seen the Rolling Stones live, but
What?
I
Shocking.
haven't. I'm too young to have seen the Beatles, really, but I have seen Paul McCartney live at Madison Square Garden. So it's like, have I seen Diana Ross live? I have not. Have I seen Patti LaBelle live? Too many times to count. Have I seen Jay-Z live? Too many times to count, and globally.
Well, who's the artist you think you've seen the most?
It would probably be Jay-Z and Public Enemy, because I've just traveled so often to see Jay-Z live. I've seen him in Paris. I've seen him I've seen him in Miami. I've seen him New York, everywhere, Phoenix, random places. And then with Public Enemy, I used to date the road manager of Digital Underground. So when Digital Underground was on tour with Public Enemy, I just went to see that show so many times. I went, far and wide in the United States, seeing that tour. So I've seen Public Enemy live probably, 25 times. It's a blessing in my life. It's a blessing in my life. It's an education of live music. And Heavy D was on that tour. MC Breed was on that tour sometimes when it was in the Midwest. Kid and Play was on that tour. Queen Latifah and the Safari Sisters. Big Daddy Kane with Scoop and Scrab. Like it just was, man, that's when I knew too. I was like, I'm never not doing this. I'm never not doing this. I'm never not doing this.